Hey guys, welcome back to the Art of Server. So in today's video, I'm going to be going back to my HP Z820. If you recall, if you've been with the channel, a little while ago, I had done an unboxing video of this Icy Dock drive enclosure that fits five 3.5-inch drives in three 5.25-inch optical drive bays. And the intent at that time was to put that in this HP Z820. But unfortunately found out that it doesn't fit without doing something, some modifications to the case. Basically, these little tabs right here that normally you would sit a 5.25-inch drive on top of get in the way of this enclosure being installed. So I know people who were watching that video were probably a little disappointed and commented that like, well, hey, why don't you just modify the case? And I'm happy to do that. In fact, that's what we're going to do today. But normally I record my videos like in the middle of the night and people are usually sleeping in the house. And so I didn't want to run any power tools at that time. And I wasn't really expecting that because I had installed something similar to this in other Z820s before without running into that problem. I think if you get the one that's only four 3.5-inch drives that fit in here, that's fine. It has enough spacing to allow for these little tabs. But the one that has five 3.5-inch drives, none of the models that I've looked at have a slot cut out to allow these tabs. So wherever you're installing this thing, you're going to have to find 5.25-inch drive bays that don't have that little tab, or you're gonna have to remove that tab. So anyway, in today's video, we're just gonna actually modify this because I'm actually recording this at normal daylight hours here. And so yeah, let's get started and take a look at what our plan is going to be to modify this. All right, so I just want to show you kind of a closer look at what this looks like in here, because there were people who were commenting in the last video giving all sorts of suggestions, and thanks by the way for your thoughts. But yeah, these are the little metal tabs. They're basically part of this metal that's kind of, or the sheet metal here that's kind of folded out. And someone said, use some pliers and just bend them down. I don't think that's going to work. The way this is bent, it's not flat. It's bent with a curve. And so, I guess that gives it extra strength, and it also reduces the contact surface when you're sliding something over here. So it's going to only contact whatever straight edge thing that you slide over it at the center here. So reduces friction, I suppose. So anyway, that's not going to be easy to bend down. And even if I did get some pliers to start bending it down, at some point I'm not going to have enough clearance down here to have any more grip on this to bend it further all the way flat. And I guess you could follow that with some hammering, but really there's just not a lot of space in here. This is not a lot of space. It's like my hand barely fits in here to swing a hammer. So I didn't really think that was going to be the best approach to doing that. I mean, I could try it, but what I'm thinking is I'm just going to cut this metal off. And so what I'm planning to do here is using this thing. This is a oscillating tool with a metal cutting blade. And the challenge though, and I'm feeling a little lazy, so I'm hoping to take kind of a shortcut here, or at least I hope it's going to be a shortcut and not turn into a pain. But if I start cutting, there's going to be metal shavings going everywhere. And there's tiny little holes here and stuff is going to get through. Definitely don't want to get any of the metal shavings on any of the electronics. There's also holes back here. Could fall down in here. So that's the concern. I guess probably the proper way to do this would be to disassemble the whole case and remove all the electronic, the motherboard and all that stuff, and do the cutting and then clean it all out and then put the motherboard and everything back in. But I'm kind of really feeling lazy about that. And that's kind of one of the other reasons why I didn't do that in the last video, other than not having the power tool, not having the right timing to run the power tools, was that I felt like if I had diverted that video into going into disassembling this whole thing, it would just be a very long video and wasn't what I was planning to do that night. But anyway, what I'm thinking of doing as a shortcut is to just mask this area with these things sticking out, so that as I cut it, the metal shavings will kind of stay here, and I'm going to mask this whole back area here to cover that so nothing goes past that. And then I can, you know, keep basically all the metal shavings inside the masking, and then I can vacuum it out and then pull all that masking out without hopefully dropping much or anything significant in the chassis. Anyway, that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put some paper and allow these metal tabs to stick through the paper, and we'll have some masking tape right here, and I'm just going to tape everything up so that all these holes and all these little slots are covered. And also there's these little pins that are part of this. It's kind of a cool mechanism, this thing here. When you pull on this, it releases whatever device is in there. And see if I can show this. So when I pull on that, see those pins retract. So I think I'm going to wedge something in here to kind of keep it retracted, and then that way that's kind of a flat surface that I can mask up. And hopefully that will be enough to keep any of the metal shavings from the cutting action from getting into the machine, and that way I don't have to completely disassemble and tear everything out of this machine just to do that. So alright, so let me just set the camera on a tripod and get started with the masking. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see the space I'll be working in, and like I said, I think I'm gonna try to get this, wedge something on this this lever here to get those pins retracted. And so I have this lens cap, so I'm gonna wedge this back here, so hopefully that keeps all the pins recessed. All right, so I've got some paper here that I'm going to use to mask the patient is now ready for the operation. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that a little bit better. So the idea is, with the oscillating tool, I'm gonna flush cut these tabs right off. Hopefully it's easy, and let's see how it goes. All right. Well, it's not exactly going as I was hoping. All that masking I don't think did anything, and the blade is just tearing it all up mostly. A lot of metal shavings are in here, so that's, I guess that part is okay. I have cut maybe about 1/4 of an inch through that thing, but it is not exactly as soft as metal, and this brand new blade I think is already getting a little bit dull from that. So I don't know, there's after this one there's 7 more of these, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna keep going. All right, so that's the, ooh, that's still hot. Okay, so anyway, the first tab is off. I don't know how much metal went down the holes there, but I don't know. In the end, I might have to take this whole thing apart and get all the metal shavings out if there's, well, yeah, I mean, all this masking maybe not that helpful. Although, I mean, there's all the metal shavings staying in here at least, so it's not getting over to the motherboard, which I guess is a good thing. So yeah, I guess that's 1 out of 8. So we keep going. All right, second one done. The fun ones are going to be the ones in the back. Third one down, and the fourth one's like halfway there. So yeah, that's still hot, but let's get it out of there. And yeah, you know, honestly, I probably should have just disassembled everything. But well, we're already like started on this, so the masking doesn't really help. That was just, I mean, it's catching stuff here and not getting over to the main compartment. That's working, but there's clearly stuff falling into the holes here. All right, fourth one down. So let's see here. I just hope it's fully flush. Yeah, this one's not fully flush. It kind of cut at an angle. This one's more or less flush. This one is very flush. This is flush. I think the ones on the top are a little bit harder for me to hold the blade completely flush. So it's leaving a little, I think it might snag, so I'll see if maybe I can flush cut that a little bit more. But yeah, all this paper is all really, it's just kind of getting in the way. Like I can't see what I'm doing. So not the best idea. All right, guys, we're basically halfway there. Now I got to do the other side. This is not entirely flush, but I kind of have a feeling I need to get a file or some sort of sanding tool to sand the rest of that down. Yeah, I think it's a little hard to do that with this blade. So let me switch the angle and see if you guys can get a look at the other side. Right now I'm not feeling that great about this project. I feel like I've just scratched the hell out of the metal here, and I really wanted to do something a little bit cleaner. I mean, I had to cut the metal off, but I was hoping to do it in a clean way, and I feel like I left a bunch of gouges and scratches on this side from this blade. Trying to do a clean flush cut is a little harder than I expected, and this metal doesn't feel that soft. I was hoping it would just kind of cut through a little bit like butter. Not happening. I'm no expert at using one of these oscillating tools, but I do feel like it goes a little bit faster when I'm cutting at an angle instead of like kind of trying to cut straight through it. So I'm going to try to do that on this one. All right, here we go. All right, so definitely cutting kind of like at a 45-degree angle seems to go a lot faster. All right, anyway, gotta move on. All right, so for this one, it's a little hard to come at a 45 from the top, so I'm gonna try to do it from the bottom. Okay, well that's 7 out of 8. The lens cap that I was using to prop those pins to retract, I guess it popped out at some point. So anyway, that didn't quite work out either. There's a little bit of metal shaving. I'm looking at the back of the case over here, and yeah, I think I'm gonna, I don't know. I could, I don't know why. I keep wanting to take the shortcuts. I keep wanting to not disassemble and take the whole motherboard and everything out of the case. Probably would be better off if I just accepted the fact that's what I need to do. But, well, let me just vacuum all the metal dust out first. Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna, because I already see, I mean, there's not a lot, but there's definitely some of the metal shavings that got through probably these holes here and over here, and they're at the bottom. Like, here's an example of that. So that's my finger just scooping up some of the stuff that's fell in the back there. So, you know, I think at this point, this is going to be another video, because I think this is, I'm going to take all this masking off. It was kind of pointless. There's already enough metal shavings in the back here that I wouldn't feel comfortable powering this thing on with all that metal in the back there. So I think I'm going to have to disassemble it. I'll get a air gun to clean off the motherboard just in case any got on it. And then once I have this chassis emptied out, then I'll go ahead and clean all this up, and then, you know, clean the whole chassis up again a second time. So anyway, let's just go ahead and, all right. Well, okay. All right. Okay. All right, let me just kind of show you guys what I'm seeing here. Get the camera off the tripod. All right, so let's take a close look at what the end result was. So, yeah, this is still not as flush as I'd like. I can kind of feel that. So, and yeah, the blade kind of gouged up all this here. I'm not too happy about. So that's why I was thinking, like, maybe I sand this all down, and that might kind of at least make this finish a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you know, I really wanted to do this in a clean way, but I'm just not as skillful, I guess, as I hope to be. Yeah, so this, that's not as flush as I'd like it. The bottom is, yeah, this is better. And then this side, you know, definitely the front was easier to cut. So yeah, this is like really nice right here. There's nothing snagging. This too. Let me reach from behind here. This is just a little bit, not too bad. This one definitely needs to be cut flush a little bit more. Okay, well, anyway, what's done is done. But yeah, here, I don't know if you guys can see that, or let me bring over a light. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, so there's all that came through. And oh yeah, there's some that's on that memory, on that DIMM right there. So that's not good. And obviously a bunch right here. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disassemble this. So, all right, I think I'm gonna end this video here. The next video, we're gonna disassemble the whole Z820, pull everything out of here, and clean it all off with an air gun, and just kind of clean off any metal dust that got through. And then we'll get back to finishing these things here, and make sure that they're flush, so that when we try to do the Icy Dock thing next time, that it'll go in nice and smooth. So anyway, guys, sorry, wasn't really sure how this was going to turn out, so just taking it as it goes. So anyway, if you found this video helpful at all or anything, I don't know if it's going to be helpful to anybody, but if you find it helpful, do me a favor, give me that thumbs up, all right? And if you're, into modifying cases or doing stuff the wrong way with your server or computer, then you definitely got to subscribe to this channel. So anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. And for anybody who's new here, if you like this channel and you want to support this channel, go check out my eBay store. I have the best selection of pre-flashed IT mode HBA SAS controllers for your ZFS, TrueNAS, or unrated builds. So I'll leave a link to my eBay store down in the video description, so go check that out. And have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.